If you were here, it's most likely that your New Year's resolution is to learn how to play guitar. So much so that you've actually taken that first step and gone to YouTube and typed in how to teach myself guitar. And you would be right, because YouTube is one of the best places for free guitar lessons, and it's also going to be one of the best resources you have as someone who's setting out to teach themselves guitar. Now, personally, I teach a ton of Taylor Swift guitar tutorials on my channel, but I am only a very small corner of the vast range of guitar teachers and artists that you're going to find on the music side of YouTube. Now in this video, I'm not going to teach you everything you need to know about guitar because that would take a long time. But I'm going to share with you my tips and tricks for how you can successfully teach yourself guitar in 2022. Hello guys, welcome to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Nena, and if you're not new, welcome back. Normally I just teach guitar tutorials on here, but I thought because we're starting a new year here, and I know there's gonna be people this year who have finally decided to sit down and learn guitar like they always wanted to. So I thought I would make this video to help you guys out. Because for me, I took guitar lessons when I was really young, and then I just kind of like dropped off and put down the guitar. So when I decided to come back to it, I had to teach myself everything. So I have a lot of really useful tips and tricks that are gonna help you stay consistent, keep your motivation, keep you playing guitar, and keeping you following through with your goal of actually learning how to play guitar. Because as somebody who has a lot of trouble focusing and staying motivated to see something through, there are things you can do and there's tools that can help you make sure that you actually achieve your goal. And in this case, that is playing guitar. The best part about the world we live in today is that you could literally just hop on the internet and search up anything you want to learn to do. YouTube, this platform, is a great resource for you if you want to learn how to do anything. Whether it's playing an instrument, guitar, just like there is a video for literally everything on here. But sometimes that's overwhelming and you don't even know where to start. So this is where I come in. I'm gonna tell you guys where you can start and how you can get to where you want to be. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna talk about is the basics. Learning a musical instrument in general just seems so much more intimidating than it actually is, because you think you need to have years of practice and like knowledge of how music works, how to read music, and I'm here to tell you, you do not need to know anything about music theory to learn guitar. There are people that are gonna disagree with me. There are definitely people who think the only way to learn a musical instrument is to start from the beginning, learn all the technical reading music, like all that kind of stuff, but I'm here to say, you don't need that. If that's not your goal, then that's not your goal. If you do want to, go for it. If your goal is to just be able to play the songs that you love and express yourself through a guitar, you don't need to know all that stuff. I would say guitar is a great gateway instrument into all the other ones, because for me, I learned guitar first, and so when I went to learn a few things on the piano, it was much easier to transition because I knew basic knowledge from my guitar. So anyways, you chose the right instrument to start with, first of all. I don't really have a plan for this video, so we're just gonna jump straight into the tips here. The first tip I have for you is to keep your guitar in a place that is accessible. A place where you can very easily just like pick it up and put it back, because if your guitar is sitting in your guitar case, you are never going to play it. It's just gonna be a whole process to take it out of the case, play it, put it back like in a closet. No, you need to get a guitar stand and you need to stand it right in like a very prominent area so that when you walk by it, you just want to like pick it up and start playing it. Because when I went to college, the guy that was helping me move in saw my guitar and he's like, you're gonna want to put that on a stand, because if you leave it in the case, you're never gonna play it. I'm like, you're right, I should. So I have 2 stands in my room. Both of the guitars that I use every day sit in my room and I never put them away. It's also kind of just like a manifesting like law of attraction. If you see your guitar every day, you're gonna wanna be motivated to play it. You know, it's like a vision board. So that's the first thing. Keep your guitar in a place where you see it every day, out, ready to go, ready to play. Backing it up a little bit, if you don't even have a guitar yet, you should probably think about getting one. And you wanna think about how much commitment you wanna put into the purchase. So if if you are not sure yet and you don't want to spend a bunch of money on a nice guitar if you're not sure if you're gonna like it or, you know, all that kind of stuff. I feel like though spending a lot of money on something kind of helps you commit more to it. So if you want to get like a mid-tier guitar, I really like my Fenders. That was my first guitar I ever got, was a Fender. They have some pretty good beginner sets. There are super cheap ones on Amazon if you just need something to get started. They have like $100 guitars on there. I'll try to link a few guitars down below if you guys are looking for a beginner guitar. But I would say that's like one of the most important steps, obviously, in this journey of learning guitar is actually committing to buying a guitar. My next tip is that you should have a plan. Any kind of plan, that is. So a practice plan, a plan to learn certain songs. So let's say your plan is to practice guitar 15 minutes a day, or maybe 30 minutes every other day. Just have some kind of consistent schedule going, because once you commit to a scheduled time and setting aside a block of time for this specific reason to learn guitar every week, that'll help you stick with it. Because if you just think to yourself like, oh, I'll just play guitar when I have free time, like after work or at my lunch break, you're never gonna do it. You're never gonna do it. And also write it down. Like write it in your planner every day. I heard somewhere that if you write something down, you're like 100% times more likely to do it. I don't know, I made that up, but I think there is something like that. But yes, have a plan. It doesn't have to be like an hour or 2 hours every day. Sometimes you could get wrapped up in it and you can spend an hour doing it, but for me, sometimes I play guitar like 5 minutes a day. I'll play one song and then I'll put it down. And you know, my whole job is to play guitar for the internet and teach guitar, but there's obviously still songs I'm learning and there's things that I want to learn. So when I put time towards me improving on guitar, that time is completely separate from what I do for my channel. And I will write down like, learn this song on this day. So then I will spend however much time learning a new song, learning a new thing. Which brings me to the next section of this video, which is actually teaching yourself how to play guitar. The first thing you need to do is make a list of 5 to 10 songs that you want to learn. Make sure they're not too ambitious. Make sure that they sound simple enough that you think that you could learn them. And what I mean by this is like, if you can hear the guitar and it just sounds like normal guitar, okay, great. But if you hear a song that you want to learn and it's like got all these riffs and like you can hear that it is complicated, maybe wait on that one. Obviously, the next step is to go into Google, YouTube, search up that song so that you can get the chords. Once you find a song that has a chord progression that has 3 or 4 chords, get to it, start learning those 4 chords. The best way to learn chords is to literally just keep switching back and forth between all of them. You don't just want to play one chord for like an hour. No. You want to practice switching between all 4 chords because that's going to help you so much more than just playing one chord over and over again. This really helps your muscle memory, and when it comes to guitar, muscle memory is one of the most important things ever, because sometimes I will be playing a song and my mind can't remember, but my fingers know what to do. And that is like, once you've hit that point, you're chillin'. Once your fingers get used to those chords, you'll have to think about it less and less, and then you can move on and learn more chords. We're gonna talk about strumming in a minute, but first let's talk about the left hand or whatever hand you're going to be using to play your chords. For me, it's my left hand, but if you're, have a lefty guitar, that's gonna be your right hand. The most important thing when learning chords is to make sure you are on top of your fingertips. You do not want your fingers to be flat because that is going to mute all the strings. You're gonna be sitting there wondering why no sound is coming out. You're gonna be wondering why does it sound so awful, and that's because you are not on the very, very tips of your fingers. This is where your calluses come in. The more you practice, your fingers are gonna hurt and you're gonna get these little lines on your fingertips, but that's good. And you just need to like power through the pain at the beginning. And if it hurts too bad, take a break. Like for sure, take a break. Sometimes I have to take a break because my fingers, I've been playing for too long. That is what's gonna help you create these calluses on your fingers, which is basically just really toughens up the top layer of your skin. So when you press down, it doesn't hurt anymore. And you'll know if you're using your fingertips because those calluses are gonna be on the very top of your finger and they're not gonna be on the side. I'll show you guys. I don't know if you can see. Okay, there you go. You can kind of see the lines on my fingers here. So I'll go sideways here. I don't know what the best way to show this is, but I'm gonna show you guys. You can see that my fingertips are on top here, kinda, you can see. If they are flat, this finger is touching the string below it. You do not want that, because then you're not gonna get any sound, it's gonna sound horrible. So that's one of the most important things when playing chords, get on those fingertips. Now I have a couple other videos that go more into depth about chords and strumming and all of that, and I'll link that playlist up here if you guys want a more in-depth video about all this stuff, but this video is just gonna be a jumping off point for you guys. Another tip when learning chords is to make sure you are using your whole hand to help you out here. It's not just your fingertips here. You wanna make sure that the heel of your hand, so right here, is really gripping the neck and helping you press. You're pressing your thumb this way, so I'll show you. You're pressing it against here and your fingers are pressing into the fretboard. So you're having the force coming from both sides of the neck so that your fingers aren't doing all of the work. This part of your thumb is so strong and it will help you so much more get that sound out of the chords. Okay, now that we've talked about chords, let's talk about strumming. Strumming is something that takes a lot of practice and it's something that gets better with time. You really wanted to focus on learning those chords because then once that becomes muscle memory, you can focus on the strumming and more complicated strumming patterns. So quickly, I'm gonna go over a little basic thing to know with strumming. So usually each chord has a full measure, which means there's 4 beats and you can feel the beats when you're hearing the song. So as far as strumming goes, usually that means you can have 4 down strums. So this would be 1 measure of G. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you were practicing switching chords and you're doing 1 measure of strumming per chord, this is how you can practice switching chords. We're gonna do a basic chord progression here. So you can strum the first beat, 1, and then for the other 3 beats, instead of strumming, you can work on switching to the next chord, D. So then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. So you kind of see how by only strumming on the first beat, you're having more time to switch chords. So once you master that, then you can add another strum and you can do 2 strums per measure. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. And then each time you master it, you just add more strums. Eventually you'll get to all 4, so then you can do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. And so you just keep going with that, keep practicing that. And then once you've gotten down the switching and the single down strums, then you can kind of graduate up into another strumming pattern. I have a whole video about strumming that I'll link up here, but that's just like a really quick overview for you guys about strumming. Now I get a lot of comments about how to hold your pick, what size pick you should have, and for me, I like a good like medium thickness here, but the thinner picks, the ones that are really thin, those are more for rhythm strumming, which is just like regular strumming, and then the thicker picks are more for picking, so like picking patterns and stuff like that. For me, I hold my pick with 2 fingers here and then my thumb. There's many other ways you can hold the pick. It's just whatever feels most comfortable for you. And as far as the angle to hold your pick at, I like to hold it at like a 45-degree angle. You just kind of like brush it across. You don't want to hold it like too firmly, if that makes sense. You want to have a soft grip on your pick and just like drag it across here. You don't want it to be like too hard. That's like the biggest mistake people make when they're starting out is they want to strum like too hard. You just want them soft. There you go. So no 90-degree angle here, not like straight on. You want it a little bit like angled down. Same thing if you're going up. Okay, so once you've learned those 4 chords to learn that song that you really are excited about, you've practiced switching chords, you've practiced down strumming, the best thing you can do is just practice it. Keep playing it every day. Play that song every single day. Pick up that guitar and play those 4 chords. For me, what's helpful is playing along with the song as it's playing so that you can get a more full speed practice with it. I feel like people fall victim to that saying like, oh, I don't have time. I didn't have time to play guitar today. 5 minutes. 5 minutes of your day. You pick this guitar up and you play those 4 chords like for 30 seconds even. That's an excuse. I will not be accepting that excuse. And if it's a song that you really love and you just like are intrinsically motivated to play that song, it'll be so much easier for you to stay motivated. So make sure you pick songs that you really like. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to talk about for this video is if there's a specific technique you want to learn, such as picking, bar chords, fingerstyle, and also how to troubleshoot and how to figure out how to play a song when you just cannot find a tutorial, a tab, how to teach yourself when it seems like you cannot find what you're looking for anywhere. This is where you're gonna go from someone learning guitar to a true guitar player. So let's say you've mastered the basics or you've had some guitar lessons already and you want to learn how to take your guitar playing to the next level. If you were looking to learn picking, bar chords, fingerstyle, anything like that, my advice would be, again, to choose a song that you really like that has that technique in it. There's nothing more boring than just trying to learn a single chord or a single picking pattern with no like end goal to play a certain song. When I was in college, I took a classical guitar class and we would just have to learn like these picking patterns from these songs that I didn't know and I just was like not into it. But if you gave me a Taylor Swift song with a picking pattern, I would want to learn that so fast. I literally only learned bar chords because there was a Taylor Swift song I could not play without it. And that's the kind of motivation that you need. So I chose this song that had a bar chord in it. I really focused on learning that specific song. I sucked at first. I was so bad at bar chords. I hated them. I did everything to avoid them. But because I really wanted to learn this song, I practiced it every single day and finally, I was able to play this song, and now I had this new bar chord in my repertoire that I could play. So that made me want to learn more songs that had bar chords in them. So find that song that you think might be a little bit challenging for you, whether it has a picking pattern or hammer-ons or other little guitar techniques. Find a great tutorial on YouTube, find a tab on the internet, and just practice it every single day. Now, if you are looking to learn bar chords, but you're just not quite there yet, there's 2 options for you. First, get a capo. That's like I think that's one of the most important guitar tips I could ever tell you. Get a capo if you're a beginner, because this thing is gonna open up so many doors for you. I literally don't know what I would do without my capo. Because let's say a song has a ton of bar chords, you can use your capo, plop that on, and play your beginner chords here. And it's gonna make it so much easier for you to learn whatever song you want to. Now, if you don't have a capo, there is another option for you, and that is what I like to call cheater chords. Some people highly disagree with this and also get super mad when you talk about cheater chords because they think you should learn it the right way. But honestly, I do not see the problem with learning an easier way to play a chord so that you could play the songs that you love. And if you guys want to know how to play all the basic cheater chords for the bar chords, I have a whole video about all of those chords. And I also have a digital download on my Etsy shop of all the easier variations of all these chords that you can play in place of the bar chords, and I'll leave that link down below as well. Okay, very last thing is troubleshooting and resources that you can use if there is a song that you literally cannot figure out or you can't find on YouTube or whatever. The first thing that I do if I cannot figure out a song is go straight to Ultimate Guitar. This website is literally my favorite thing ever. So from time to time when I'm stuck, I will go on there, search up what other people have written tabs for, kind of compare and contrast all the different ones and try to figure out which one sounds the best. I'll try them all out. And Ultimate Guitar has a great tool which is called transpose, and it has this little plus and minus button. If you press the minus button, it kind of acts as like a capo. So if you see that the chords are super hard, you click -2, that means capo 2, and it changes all the chords, transposes them so that they're easier on the 2nd fret. That is a super helpful tool because for me, because over the years I have had a lot of experience with transposing, I kind of know now, but I'm lazy. The fact that Ultimate Guitar can transpose tabs for you is 10 out of 10. The other great thing about Ultimate Guitar tabs is that they have all the chord charts at the very top for you to reference. And if you still can't find quite the right chords for the song that you want to learn, this is where you have to be creative. Sometimes looking at a tab can be super confusing because you can't quite hear it in your head, or it's just like, sometimes it's hard to just look at chords on a piece of paper and really hear how it's supposed to be played, which is why YouTube is helpful, because I'm a very auditory person, visual person, so reading something on a piece of paper doesn't do as much for me as like watching a video about it. The next step you should take if you can't find the right chords is go on YouTube and search up acoustic guitar covers of the song that you want to learn and see how other people are playing it, because that helps me a lot. I always like to look up different acoustic covers to see people's different arrangements of songs, especially if it's a song that's heavily produced, has a lot of background sounds in it. To hear it stripped down to acoustic guitar sometimes is really helpful. And also looking up the artist themselves playing it on guitar. For me, whenever I'm teaching a Taylor Swift song, I like to learn it just how she plays it. So I will look up videos of her playing the song acoustically on guitar and then use those videos to teach myself how she plays it. So when I get stuck on a song, I use a combination of all of these things to help me figure out how to play the song that I want to play. Ultimate guitar tabs, acoustic covers on YouTube, watching the artist play it themselves, putting those all together to create my own tab, which that's kind of like the end goal here. You want to be self-sufficient when you're playing guitar, and you want to be able to not have to rely on somebody else when you want to learn a song. Whew, okay, that was a ton of information. Thank you guys for sticking it out through this whole video. I really hope that some of these things are going to be super helpful to you, and I hope this is just the beginning of your journey with guitar. You are not going to regret it, I promise you. As much as I can sit here and tell you all my tips and tricks and everything, it's gotta come from you. It's gotta come from in here. You really have to want it, and you really have to find that motivation inside yourself to see this through and get to the end and achieve your goal of learning how to play guitar. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That lets me know that you like what I'm doing. And if you guys want to see more videos about guitar, tutorials, Taylor Swift, feel free to subscribe. I post every Tuesday and Friday. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. You can do it. I believe in you. The lighting is just not it today. I forgot what I was saying. I keep telling you. I just need to tell you. That was pretty good.